How do you do it? How do you get an entire empire to carry out a genocide without anyone realizing what's happening until it is far, far too late? Well, the answer starts not with an army or a declaration of war, but with a simple promotion. All right, let's meet our antagonist, a guy named Haman. After climbing the political ladder, King Ahasuerus gives him the ultimate promotion. He's now the most powerful person in the entire Persian Empire, second only to the king himself.
And you gotta understand, this isn't just some fancy title. It's a very public, very clear declaration of his absolute authority. The king has literally placed him above everyone else. And that kind of power, it's about to be tested.
And all this power, well, it goes straight to his head. I mean, completely. The text tells us that he starts to see himself as something like a demigod. So he starts insisting, demanding that every single courtier, anyone inside the palace gates, has to kneel and prostrate themselves before him. This isn't just about respect, you see. This is a demand for worship.
And that one demand, that's where our whole conflict kicks off. Because in this court, there's one man, a guy named Mordecai, who absolutely will not bow down. See, for Mordecai, as a devout Jew, bowing down like that to another man it's a religious line he cannot cross, so he refuses. It's a simple, quiet act of defiance that is about to set an entire empire on a path to destruction. And right away, the pressure is on. The other officials, the ones whose job it is to enforce this new rule, they go right to him. This isn't just about his personal beliefs anymore. He is openly violating a direct command from the king. And this is so crucial. It wasn't a one-time thing. The text really makes a point of this. It was a sustained campaign. Day after day, they warn him, "You're breaking the king's command." And day after day, he quietly refuses. You can just feel the tension building, right? Until finally, Haman's patience just snaps. So finally, they bring in the man himself, Haman, for a face-to-face. He stands before Mordecai, and Mordecai still won't kneel. And in that one moment, for Haman, this stops being about religion or politics. It becomes personal. He is being slighted. He is being disrespected. And his pride fills him with this cold, calculating rage. Now, Haman is way too arrogant to just lash out at Mordecai. He thinks that's beneath him. So instead, he channels all of that rage into a much, much bigger and more sinister plot. He goes to the king with this masterful pitch. I mean, it is a textbook case of manipulation. Just look at the language he uses. It's brilliant, and it's terrifying. He never even says the word Jews. He just calls them this scattered, nameless other living in the empire. He says their laws are different, which makes them disloyal. He says they corrode society from within. And really, it's just not worth a king's time to let them exist. It is a classic, pure playbook of dehumanizing propaganda. But this is the heart of the whole con. He tells the king, have it written to neutralize them. Now, the king hears neutralize and thinks of a benign policy, cultural reformation, maybe some re-education programs. But Haman has a very different definition in mind: complete and total annihilation. The king is literally about to sign off on a plan that he completely misunderstands. And to sweeten the deal, Haman offers this staggering amount of money: 10,000 kickers of silver. It's a fortune. But here's the other trick. It's not his money. He's promising the king a massive tax from the plunder of the very people who are about to be massacred. He's making the king a financial partner in the crime. And the king just falls for it, hook, line, and sinker. He takes off his signet ring and hands it to Haman. That ring is the ultimate symbol of authority. The king's power, his signature, the seal of the empire, it is now in Haman's hands. The deal is done. But look, getting the king's seal is just the beginning. Now Haman has to actually execute this plan across a massive, sprawling empire without anyone figuring out what's really going on. And his method? It's a masterclass in logistics and deception. To make his plan unstoppable, Haman creates 3 brilliant layers of concealment. First, he localizes it. He has the decree written in the unique script and language of every single province. So this massive, coordinated genocide feels like a small, isolated local issue to everyone. Second, surprise. The scrolls are sealed shut, with orders not to be opened until the actual day of the slaughter. This gives the victims 0 time to organize, to fight back, or to flee. And third, and this is a masterstroke, the law is put into effect in the capital city, Shushan, last, only after the couriers have already left. This move prevents anyone from finding out and trying to lobby the king before it's too late. And just like that, the moment the scribes are finished, it's in motion. High-speed couriers are sent out, carrying these sealed death warrants to every single corner of the Persian Empire. The clock has officially started ticking.
So this machinery of death is now silently rolling across the provinces, completely unseen and unheard by anyone. And back in the capital, the architects of this whole crime, they settle in.
The king, completely oblivious to the true horror of what he has just unleashed, sits down for a celebratory drink with Haman. While they toast their own success, the genocide they've set in motion is already underway.
And while the two of them are drinking, a strange new law is announced in the capital, and the people are confused. They're intrigued. They can feel that something big has just happened, but nobody knows what it is. A sense of deep unease starts to spread through the city, even as those sealed scrolls, carrying a death sentence for an entire people, are racing towards their final destinations.